Hey everyone, happy Friday. Big update today. I'm going to give an update on Jeran, Austin, and Eric Dubay. Everybody's been asking me about Jeran and Austin, if they're still going. And everybody's been emailing me about Eric Dubay, both Globers and Flat Earthers, about this video he released last week about the final experiment. So we're going to cover all three today. Consider this a pretty big update, and I'll just take them one at a time. Let's start with Jeran Campanella. Everybody's asking me if Jeran Campanella is still willing to go to Antarctica. Let me set the record straight, okay? Jeran has not wavered. Jeran has always been excited and ready to go to Antarctica. The holdup is not with Jeran. The whole situation with Jeran is reminding me of a scene in Braveheart, which is the Battle of Stirling Bridge. And so with this battle, you have the Scottish army, which are all together ready to face the English. And the Scottish army represents the Flat Earthers, and the English represents Antarctica. For years, Flat Earthers have all rallied together and been excited and been like, hey, we are going to get to Antarctica. We are going to conquer this thing. We are going to prove to the world once and for all what is really going on, the true shape of the Earth, by going to Antarctica. Then the English army arrives, and this battle is now imminent. It's right in front of their face. That the English army arriving is the final experiment arriving. We now have an imminent trip to Antarctica, which is what they're all gathered together for and ready for and have been ready for years. But now the Scottish army sees the English army and they're like, oh boy, this is a little bit more real now than what we've all been so pumped up and amped up and excited about. And so going to Antarctica is now very real, because the final experiment is going to Antarctica this December. And so the Scottish army all of a sudden is like, oh boy, what should we do? Are we going to win this battle? They look at the English army and they're like, man, we might actually lose. This is exactly what's going on. Flat Earthers are looking at this trip to Antarctica and they're like, oh man, what if there is a 24-hour sun? What if we go there and we end up losing everything that we've worked so hard for and everything that we thought was true?
So many. I didn't come here to fight so they could own more lands. But I have to work for them.
Nor me. All right, lads! I'm not dying for these bastards! Let's go home!
And so the Scottish army just gives up. They see the potential of losing against the English, and they're like, this isn't worth it. We're going home. We are giving up. And that's exactly what's happening right now among Flat Earthers. It's like, yep, we have been talking about going to Antarctica for years, and now that the opportunity is presenting itself, the risk is just too great. We don't want to lose what we have fought so hard for, and so we're just going to go ahead and turn around and go home. We're not going to go to Antarctica.
Stop, men! Do not flee! Wait until we've negotiated!
So then in comes Austin Witit, and he's like, hey guys, don't walk away quickly. Let's at least negotiate. Let's at least make sure this whole thing is going to be done fairly, and that, you know, we're not going to run into issues that we've run into in the past. And as long as this whole thing is done fair, don't retreat. Let's go to Antarctica. But there's still just so much confusion. Like, we've really been trying so hard to do this for so many years. Now we have the opportunity, but it's not worth the risk. And so people just continue to say no. The flat earthers just say, no, we're leaving. We're headed home. And then in comes Jeran Campanella. In the movie, William Wallace comes in and he's wondering why everybody's leaving. Like, where are you going? If this is an army, why is everybody scattering? And so that's what Jeran is doing. Jeran's sitting here asking all the flat earthers, like, hey guys, what is going on? We've been talking about this for years. Now the opportunity has presented itself, and all of a sudden we're scattering, we're dividing, nobody wants to go. It doesn't make any sense.
This is our army. To join it, you give homage.
I give homage to Scotland. And if this is your army, why does it go?
We didn't come here to fight for them.
Oh, the English are too many.
And so Jeran comes in and reminds everybody, hey, we all got here together. We are being lied to. The truth is being hidden from us. We need to expose the truth. And the response he's getting right now is, well, from flat earthers is, well, it's just too risky. We just can't do this, Jeran. We need to come up with excuses, and we're just too afraid that what we might find. What if there is a 24-hour sun? Then we've been wrong about everything. And Jeran's like, this is exactly what we need to do. We call ourselves truthers. We try to say that we are going to go and seek the truth with whatever possible, with whatever we need to do. And so he's trying to rally the troops just like William Wallace did.
I am William Wallace. And I see a whole army of my countrymen here in defiance of tyranny.
And then in the movie, the Scottish Army tells William Wallace, no, we're going to run. We're going to run and we're going to live. We're not going to face this army and potentially lose. And that's exactly what the flat earthers are telling Jeran Campanella right now. Like, we're not going to do this. We are going to flee from the final experiment so that we can survive just in case there's a 24-hour sun.
You've come to fight as free men. And free men you are.
What will you do without freedom?
Will you fight?
Right? Against that? No! We will run! And we will live.
And Jeran's response right now to the flat earth community is brilliant, and it reminds me of William Wallace and what he told the Scottish Army.
Aye. Fight and you may die. Run and you'll live. At least a while. And dying in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom?
You see, this is exactly the truth. Jeran is trying to convey a message, which is, yes, you can run away from Antarctica and run away from the final experiment. And yeah, flat Earth might survive if there's a 24-hour sun. Flat Earth might survive for now, but that's just temporary. That's fleeting. And is that really the legacy that you want to leave? Is, I had this opportunity and I didn't face it. I ran away. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. This is a historic opportunity. And Jeran is a modern day William Wallace. Jeran is the most courageous flat earther in the world right now. You guys love to talk about pioneers like Admiral Byrd, how much they risked going to Antarctica. And all of a sudden now one of the OG flat earthers, Jeran, wants to go to Antarctica because the opportunity is presenting itself and the troops are scattering. They're not rallying behind him. I think it's ridiculous. And so Jeran has been steadfast. He has not wavered. He wants to go to Antarctica, which brings me to Austin Witit. Jeran would like Austin to go, which is completely understandable and completely fair. Austin and his wife, Kai, just had a healthy baby girl. Congratulations to them. This is why Austin has been quiet, more quiet than normal. It wasn't just with me, it was with everybody. And so now Austin is still open and wants to go to Antarctica. He just wants to have me on his show first to ask me some questions, just kind of get some things cleared up. So I reached out to him and said, absolutely, I'll come on your show. So we are in the process of getting that scheduled right now. I'm just waiting to hear back from him. Once that is scheduled, I'll let everybody know so that they can watch. And then hopefully that will be kind of the last piece needed. We'll get Jeran and Austin signed up to go to Antarctica for the final experiment this December. Last update is Eric Dubay and his video that he released. I am not happy with this video for a couple of reasons. And it's really motivating me to do something which is going to be different than anything I've done with the final experiment. It's also going to be out of the spirit of the final experiment, which I don't want to do, but I think it's really necessary. And so I am disappointed in how Eric Dubay has decided to handle the final experiment. I'm in communication with flat earthers who I disagree with. I'm in communication with Globers who are not interested in the final experiment. And it's all done in a very respectful, cordial way. And so the way he's gone about it when he's had opportunities to respond to my emails and communicate with me and to talk to me and have just like regular conversations about the final experiment, he hasn't done that. Instead, he decided to make this video. And there were a couple things in the video that I just am not happy about. And so I'm going to be releasing a video response next week to Eric Dubay. And again, I really don't want to do it, but I feel like I have to. And so I'm going to be doing that. So look forward to that. It will be interesting. I do feel a little bad about it. And so I'm actually going to be offering Eric Dubay a donation to his favorite charity if he responds to my video and answers my questions. Hope everybody has a great weekend. See you next week. Take care.